Hey guys, yes, as you can see, I have braces now and I have a little bit of a lisp, but all is well. So, today I want to speak about insecurities. Now, I once heard that insecurities were just another face of pride, and I couldn't fathom or understand what this meant until I was on the process of getting braces. So, let me give you a backstory. So, ever since I was a young child, I would get um, new teeth that start growing, but they wouldn't grow normally. Like how, when one tooth comes off and you give it to the tooth fairy, which I never did, by the way, because I was told that those things don't exist. But what was interesting for me was that my teeth rather never grew normally. In the spaces where one came out, they would grow randomly on my gum. And I'd be like, that's randomly. Why aren't you growing in the right place? Like, why aren't you forming in the right place? And this happened for like most of my frontal teeth, and then would slowly move down to their normal positions. But this one tooth of mine never did that. And I was now 9 years old. It didn't want to go down. 10, 11, 12, all the way to now I'm 22. And still, it hadn't gone down. My whole family would be obsessed with my tooth because they believed that it made me unique and that it made me Felicia. It made me, and without my tooth, I wouldn't be Felicia. And even though they tried to have this positive reinforcement and conditioning to my tooth, I never acquired to it. I never adapted to it. It was always very tricky for me because even when I started dating, anyways, started dating, even then, my boyfriends would be like, "Oh, your tooth! Oh my word, it's so beautiful. It's so unique." They would use this word, unique. I still found it as being so irritating, and not just irritating, but um, I found that this tooth was not what I had wanted to form my identity. And even my friends would be like, "Oh, your tooth is so cool. Oh, it makes you unique. Oh, it makes you so beautiful," whatever it is. And throughout my whole life, no one actually understood that this was a deep insecurity. I found myself questioning myself, and whenever something would happen and I would break up with a guy or I was cheated on, I would be like, "Oh, it's a stupid tooth." Or I wouldn't be chosen for something at school, I'd be like, "Oh, it's a stupid tooth." And everything, I would bring it back to this stupid tooth of mine. And it was an insecurity for the longest of time. And this year, in the process of getting rid of it, I realized that it was an insecurity that I had to deal with despite the tooth. Because my insecurity stemmed from not feeling like I was pretty enough, beautiful enough, and all those things. It was not necessarily the tooth itself, but it's because how I responded to my tooth was a projection of how I felt about myself, about my beauty. And that was, and still is, probably a sad reality. I then examined myself recently, actually, like 2 months ago. I looked at this whole concept of my tooth and beauty. Like when God formed me in my mother's womb, he already knew me, and he already called me and appointed me a prophet amongst nations. So, the psalmist in Psalms 139 says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And then it says, "Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it oh so well." And I had to get to that place where my soul knew it oh so well, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And there's nothing that I can fix or change that will make me less than what God has made me to be. And I had to get to that place, and it's still a process, I won't lie. um, I'm still trying to battle with the concept of beauty and being made in the image of the living God, not just in terms of beauty, but in terms of character, in terms of demeanor, in terms of calling. God ordains everything. God ordains every single aspect of our lives, and He calls me beautiful. When He made me, when He made man, He said it was good. So when He made me, He said it was good, and that is crazy, because it just makes me realize and understand and know that my beauty is deeper than my face, than my tooth, than my perfect smile or lack of. You know what I mean? It's deeper than that. It is God's divine breath in me. It's God's personal touch when He formed me and knitted me together. It's God's actual personal details, and that's my beauty spot, my personality, how I think deep, how I love certain things and don't like certain things. God is actually the author and the finisher of my faith, and He is my maker. He is my creator. He created me the way that I'm created, and it does not matter how I feel about it. In fact, I need to get to that place where I'm in awe of God's creation. I'm in awe of God's personal touches and details. And that means that every person that I see on the streets, on every person that I meet, every person that I encounter, I should then admire and just be in awe of God's creation, simply because I understand that I myself am fearfully and wonderfully made, and God's divine touch. I personally think it's crazy how our insecurities are just so fickle and so useless, because I promise you guys now, whoever knows me will tell you that maybe they can see my insecurity, but most people can't really see that my tooth was an insecurity for the longest of time. And I lived with that. I carried on with life with that. I went into relationships with that insecurity, and that projected in how I presented myself, in how I interacted with people, and this whole concept of me not feeling good enough, not feeling pretty enough. It just projected in everything that I do, where I would go into relationships and have this great insecurity that my boyfriend would cheat on me or whatever. And even in friendships where I just felt like I'm probably not cool enough to be friends with this person, and therefore they're probably going to leave because I'm not enough. And when I look at the root of that feeling of not being enough, there are many, 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 many reasons actually. And one of them are deeper than a simple tooth. But my tooth was and was one of those reasons. And I had to get to a place where I recognize that first and foremost, because it's important to actually realize and understand the root of your insecurities, because the insecurities are always rooted into something else, and usually It's a case of daddy issues, mommy issues. It goes deeper than what you see on the surface. And until you get to a place where you actually find the root of it, you won't fully get over it, or be victorious over it, and actually live in your calling, in what you are actually good at, because your insecurity will hold you back. It will affect your interactions with other people. That means you'll be restricted. When you interact with other people, you would have to put on a facade of some sort because of your insecurity. And I don't care if you feel like you are the greatest actress or actor in the world, insecurities project an ugliness that you don't want people to actually associate you with. And you'll be known as, ooh, that girl that never does that or never says this. And those situations can be great, but sometimes they can be very dangerous. They'd be a very dangerous place for you to be in. And yeah, so that's my short story on my insecurity, one of my insecurities. And I'm very happy that I'm getting braces, but braces are not going to fix my insecurity. Braces are one of the things that I'm choosing to do in order to tackle my insecurity, but it won't fix my insecurity. I had to do a lot of soul searching, a lot of understanding that are fearfully and wonderfully made before I could actually get braces and actually go through this journey of being brace face. um, but it is going to be a journey. It's been a 1 day journey. Yeah, 1 day. Yeah. Um, and I must say that I'm excited. I'm very much excited because I'm discovering other stuff about myself. I am learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about how I handle and how I see and view myself and view others because of how I view myself. So, yeah, that's it for me for today. Grace and harmonies. And until next time.